Well, thank you and good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here with you. Pat Matheson, what can I say about the way you sing the national anthem is best in world. I mean, well done. I've never seen so many men crying at one time as I did about 10 minutes ago. That was awesome. Way to go. And a special thanks to everybody for coming here. Congressman, thank you for being with us here today. And all the Rotarians, I really admire what we've done. And boy, is this facility beautiful here or what? I mean, it just looks fantastic, Rita. Good job. I do want to say, I'm inspired here by what the Rotarians do. They get out and about. They live to their values of honesty, integrity, and service and business throughout the community. And this scholarship program, Stuart, that you all have with Western High School shows a deep commitment to helping, to compassion, to education as well. So I wanted to say thank you before I started to the Rotary. The whole tradition of the Rotary started in Chicago when there were just a few members to start with, and they would rotate from time to time to different companies before obviously it got so big that they needed to go to one location. So I think it's fitting that we're rotating around the community here with my annual State of the City address, and we're delighted to be here at the African American Heritage Center. And this is a busy place for nobody. How many of y'all, is this your first time here? Let's just see a show of hands, Rita. This is a little market survey. This is pretty good. You got a lot of prospects here. You can have a phenomenal event here, whether it's your gala, fundraising. They've had up to probably 2,000 people at different fundraisers. So if you're looking for a gala location, this is a really cool spot. This is probably about 40%, 50% of the square footage here. There's a whole nother couple wings on the other side as well. So be sure to help out the Heritage Center here. Now, one of the great things about being mayor is that I get to proclaim things. And you got to get used to that because at the beginning I always kept thinking to myself, who am I to proclaim anything? But it's amazing, as mayor, when you proclaim things, people take it seriously no matter what it is. And so before I was able to proclaim things, I would always think things like, Louisville's a really compassionate city, or I'm going to wear red today to honor the University of Louisville. But it was just somebody talking. But now, I can proclaim that Louisville is the most compassionate city in the world, or I will proclaim that it's Wear Red Day, and there'll be hundreds of thousands of people that will wear red, and then I get to be on ESPN primetime as an added bonus when I do something like that. So today, I want to proclaim a few things about the state of the city. We are poised, we are primed, our momentum is fantastic, and we are certainly changing the direction of our city. Now, the first time I talked to you all about 2 years ago, the state of our city was pretty concerning. We had strengths, but we also had economic stagnation that was worsened by the national recession. We were still deep into the recession. Our unemployment rate was about 11%. And I also thought attitudinally, as a city, we were too complacent to compete and win in a global competition. And then a year ago, our budget picture was improving, but it was still a lot grimmer than what I would have liked. So we still have a lot of challenges, and we're always going to have a lot of challenges. But 2 years into my administration, I think we're beginning to see the city move in a new direction. Now, each of you all have a progress report at your seat. That's this right here. So please take that home with you and share it with other people. And I want to hit the highlights of it. One is our economy is expanding again. We've grown 22,000 jobs in the Louisville region in the past 2 years, and the metro unemployment rate is down to 7.4%. Still too high, but a little bit under the national average and certainly better than 2 years ago, 11%. A report by the Brookings Institution says that the Louisville metro area has been the fourth fastest growing job generator in the entire United States. So that's good. Additionally, we're getting things done and taking care of business, including breaking ground with the help of Governors Beshear and Daniels on the Ohio River Bridges Project. There we go. So after 4 decades, and let us never deliberate on something for 4 decades again, we lowered the project costs $1.5 billion got out the shovels, and away we go. Secondly, we're moving quickly on the MSD Louisville Water Company consolidation that we're calling One Water, and that's going to create an agency of the future and save ratepayers and the city between $15 and $25 million a year. We're moving forward on the first of 3 new regional libraries. When the Southwest Regional Library opens off Dixie Highway in 2014, it's going to be a beautiful and powerful addition to Southwest Louisville's landscape, and obviously a gathering place, an education incubator, not just for kids, but for all lifelong learners. And I want to say all this work is being done with a dedicated team of city workers and Metro employees. We have a wonderful team of dedicated folks. If anybody that works for the city, if you all would stand up here so we could recognize you all, I would appreciate that. Part of our city team. Good job. We've got about 6,000 people that work for your city. Now, the third piece of good news is the significant progress that we've made on the city's structural budget deficit. Last year's $25 million gap is now down to about $14 million out of a $500 million general fund. That's still a lot of money, but we didn't get into this problem in 2 years, and we can't solve it in 2 years. Specifically, we're having a heck of a challenge with the pension, and you're reading about that in the paper a lot. When Metro government was formed, 6% of the general fund was spent on pension expenses. Today, it's 15% of the general fund on pension expenses. So imagine that in your business, if your costs went up 9% and you had little offsetting revenue. That is really hard and endangering a lot of our ability to deliver services. So please, talk to your state senators, state representatives, and give them the courage to have some fundamental reform of our pension problem. While we've had all these challenges, some other good financial news. We've maintained our strong AAA credit rating even in these difficult times, and there's very few cities that have been able to say that. And that all this would not have been possible if not for the strong partnership work from the Metro Council. We dig into the budget, we work on it together before we present it to you, the public. There's various members of the council here, including President King. If you all would stand up, we want to throw a little love at you guys, too. A big part of the city budget, obviously, is people cost. The city is a service business. About 75% of our budget are people cost related. Local union leaders that represent many of our employees are also valued partners. And we've been able to sit down together, talk about the challenges that we have with our budget. They understand that, and they have been very good partners relative to keeping the growth of labor consistent with our revenue growth as well. And I really appreciate that. That's a big part of our success. So thank you to any labor leaders that are here. So all this kind of stuff is what I call daily work. Balancing budgets, building bridges, adding libraries is what we're supposed to do. But we also have to look to the future. My team's goal is clearly, we say it every day, is to be known as America's best city government as we change and improve the direction of our city. So I want to talk about 3 key areas that we're doing that in. The first is jobs and economic development. Then I'll talk a little bit about city government itself, and then how we're planning for the future.